Oh, chat. I found something super interesting. Did you all see that Steven Crowder's wife has been tweeting, and it's not looking good for him. I'm gonna be real with you. Hillary Crowder is the ex-wife of Steven Crowder, who was revealed to be abusing her for in ring camera footage, in other footage that we were able to find and release from the from the trial, from their divorce trial, and that was released by Hillary's family when Steven Crowder went on his show to throw the mother of his children under the bus, by saying that she is a crazy, delusional woman, and we need to stop trusting women with our seed because some of them are just insane. And we'll say the darndest things. And so her family released the ring and security camera footage from around the house, that revealed to show the things that he had been saying about her, like forcing her to work with toxic chemicals while she was pregnant, not helping pick up some of the slack when it comes to the house chores, even though his literal job is sitting in his chair and ranting like a lunatic. And he has a lot of time off. Actually blowing cigar smoke in her face, and nobody can forget the threatening "watch it" when she dared to disagree with him, when it comes to doing the chores around the house, while he was literally sitting on his ass giving himself lung cancer and possibly the baby developmental issues. But who knows? Maybe it would have that anyways, because unfortunately it is his seed. So we didn't hear much from Hillary after this. She had gone dark for a little bit, and obviously is just working through the divorce. Now, a lot of people were feeling bad for Hillary. Obviously, I feel bad for anybody who's being, abused. But on that note, it's not like she didn't know what she was getting herself into. She was married to Steven Crowder for a long time, while he was making racist videos about Barack Obama, about women, about abortion, about family, about women's role in society. She was married to him while he was going on screeds on his own show about how men actually have no role in like rearing children and raising children, because men just aren't built for that. And so there's no reason for paternal leave to exist, because there's nothing for him to do when it comes to raising his own children and taking care of them after the woman who he impregnated has now given birth. Right? So while he was working, like making videos on his in his little fuck dungeon, that he calls like an office, like the showroom, right? He spent more time there putting his genitals on his workers and sexually harassing them, than he was at home taking care of the multiple kids who he's made this woman pump out. Okay, so that's what we knew beforehand. And this story kind of went dark, right? Steven Crowder tried to make himself seem like a victim by saying that somebody wrote his address on a sweet potato that they threw at his door as a threatening omen against his conduct, and trying to say that his ex-wife now has not been picking up any slack, and they're lying, and all this stuff to give excuses about how he's a stay-at-home deadbeat dad. They focus more on his like weirdo racist show than actually taking care of his kids. But now we can hear some stuff from Hillary herself, because I actually found her account and she's been tweeting a whole lot more than she used to. This is the type of insight that we only get from situations like this, where somebody starts talking but not naming names, but you know who they're talking about in public, to kind of blow off some steam, because he's been the only person with a large platform that we've been hearing the story from mostly. But now we get to kind of get to hear it from the woman herself. And I'm going to tell you that what she has to say for herself does not make this man look any better whatsoever, because she's just kind of been subtweeting him for the last little while, and it's not looked good. I'm going to be real. It has not looked good. And it seems like finally, because she believed a lot of the horrible things about politics that he does. minorities, women. So she's not. It's not like she didn't know what was going on with this guy. She did know. That's partly why she married him. But it seems like maybe being abused by a conservative finally kind of woke her up. Unfortunately, it may have taken that. But let's take a look at some things, right? Let's take a look at her definite subtweeting. This is from Hillary Crowder herself. When one person in a relationship continually threatens suicide, this can actually be a form of covert control and extreme manipulation by the individual making the threat, regardless of proper response to notify them that you will call the police. So, is this what Crowder was doing outside of the stuff that we've seen? He was like, babe, please throw out the trash for me while I smoke this cigarette or I'm going to kill myself. Yeah, she was watching TikTok Therapist. Yeah, she finally realized that she was being abused by this man after like 15 years after watching TikTok Therapist. It actually woke her up. She's kind of tweeting like somebody who has that Tokyo Ghoul, like depressed PFP. In this broken world, there are sadly sometimes necessary reasons to divorce. Falling out of love is not one of them. Sure, falling out of love is not one of them. So there are definitely reasons for why you need to divorce. Me, I definitely picked a good reason to divorce, but like falling out of love, no, that can't be it. So maybe she hasn't woken up completely, but this is just the conservative mantra of you need to stay together in bad relationships, in relationships where you're not even attracted or want to be with the person that you're married to, because you just shouldn't leave. I guess just never really leave unless there are reasons that she personally likes that she thinks that you should leave. Then come on, and then you should hop out. Meaning what exactly? Tough it out even if you don't love the person. Yes. Choose to love them even if the emotion isn't there. It's sanctifying to the soul and honorable and right to keep a vow. What do we live in like? Do we live in like 900s England? You need to keep a vow. I cannot leave. Yes, the landlord has taken all the wheat. And my family might starve this year, but I cannot go against my lord who I've made a vow to tend his fields. Yes, please spit in my mouth and fuck my wife, my lord. I'm telling you, a lot of conservatives have that English peasant mindset that yes, take all my wheat before winter rolls in, my lord. I've made a solemn vow to protect the fields with my life, my lord. Why? Right? I think you should try. I always think that you should try to make a relationship work unless something horrible is going on. So maybe that's something you can work on, right? Maybe you can learn to love them again. Who knows? But just being like, oh, you just need to because vows or something like I'm some damn medieval knight. I made a vow to me lord to protect the kingdom. I must lay down my life for this relationship I don't want to be in. Just for some reason, I don't know, completely weird to me. Another one, the logical conclusion is that many of the also, I think personally, I think this is a subtweet. I personally think this is a subtweet to Crowder. Because remember, she didn't actually initiate divorce against Crowder. Crowder was the one who started the divorce proceedings by hiring divorce lawyers before she actually did. So this might be I think this is way closer to being a subtweet for him because she didn't do anything wrong as far as we saw. He just didn't really love her anymore because she wasn't picking up all the slack. And by slack, I mean his slack, because he wasn't doing anything around the house besides puffing smoke into like the babies' faces and beating them. Does my background look like a gym in middle school? Stop bullying me! Stop bullying! I can't stream from over there anymore because my freaking ceiling got water damage and they're coming to fix it sometime and I'm not sure when. Wait, this is Crowder's ex? Yes, this is his ex-wife. This is his divorced wife. Yes, this is her Twitter account. It makes sense why she said, I love you and I'm committed to you in the video. Yes, because even though he was, let's be honest, abusing her this entire time and being just a complete bum to their 3 children, to her and their 3 children, being a bum who stays to put his balls on his workers' shoulders at work instead of coming home and helping her like cook and take out the trash and to take the dogs to the vet and do anything around the house besides nothing. And yeah, and once again, remember, he initiated divorce proceedings he did initiate divorce proceedings by hiring divorce lawyers and starting to work with the court for a legal divorce before she did. So even after that watch it video, and even after her saying that there were like some threats, she still was looking to stay in a marriage with him, right? She wasn't looking to leave yet, keeping her and her children in that abusive relationship with this vile man. She was perfectly fine staying there. And that's why in the video, yeah, she was like, watch it. Yeah, and that's why in the video she was like, I'm gonna stay here no matter how many puffs of cigarette smoke you blow into my face to give tobacco brain damage to our baby. It does not matter. It does not matter. Right? Please make this work. And he just couldn't. He just couldn't. The logical conclusion that many of the loudest voices in the manosphere that hold such contempt for women are deeply closeted. This is the spicy one for me. Okay, this is one of the spicy ones that she wrote. Many of the guys in the manosphere are actually gay. They hate women because they're the women hating secret closeted women hating homosexuals who show their contempt for their own lives by being mean towards women. We knew, to be honest. I mean, a lot of people said that he a bit fruity and that he's just a bit of a freak. Like, remember when Greg Gutfeld said that when him and Crowder were hanging out, that he went to the bar with him and he sat crisscross applesauce on the floor of the bar while sipping milk. Like, bro's an absolute freak. Obviously, he abuses his wife. Like, come on, who would be confused about that? I don't even have to know any of his political positions or anything. But yes, oh what? Yes, there were leaked text messages between Gutfeld and another commentator. That showed that Gutfeld was like, yeah, I was at a bar with Crowder and he was sipping on milk while sitting crisscross applesauce on the floor, like a freak. You know, sexually abusing his staff. There's all the type of like weird stuff. Him always wanting to be like a choir. Him always wanting to be a sort of singer in Hollywood or something. He always wanted to act. That's why his shows have those little production bits. I think like the Majority Report definitely did a video on it.
He avoided an invitation from Politicon this year to debate me. Wouldn't do it. Was afraid.
Hey, people.
Steven Crowder. That I saw these tweets from the great Vic Berger last night, and apparently Vic Berger back in the day.
Yeah, here it is. Yes.
Had a conversation with Greg Gutfeld. It looks like a DM. And now listen. Well, we'll get to this part, but apparently Vic Berger is talking out of school. You know, he's revealing the contents of a private conversation. But you know, to be honest, Greg Gutfeld's not that great of a person either, and so this is reporting. I don't think Gutfeld ever said this is off the record. So that's what a good reporter does. You got to be careful when you talk to reporters, folks. So here's Vic Berger, and let's see some of these clips here. First, he says there's still time for Crowder to grow up when he finally comes out and marries his personal trainer. I wonder what that was supposed to be.
What?
Okay. I mean, Gutfeld's a funny guy. There you go.
Curious.
And he wouldn't. He has issues. I met him at a bar once, said Gutfeld. He sat Indian style on the floor in the middle of a crowded bar. And Vic Berger said, that's insane. He also, no joke, ordered milk.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Bro's a freak. Crisscross applesauce. Crisscross applesauce on the floor, sipping on milk. And being a little fruity with his personal trainer. He's always just been a peculiar guy. He's always just been a freak. if this is about Crowder, and the whole time she thought he's gay, well, Mary did by that. It's insane. Now we don't care if he's gay or anything, but he should just stop being mean to other gay people. If true, it's okay. It's 2024, bro. Do as you please. You can sit crisscross applesauce on the floor, drinking milk and sucking dick. Like, wait, I don't care. Just don't be like a piece of shit, Just don't be the type of goober that you are. And the world would be a better place. That's what I think. They have very little, if any, attraction to women. Even if they never act on it, their true desire is to be with another man. Just incredible stuff coming out of Hillary Crowder here. No, you're not wrong. You're 100% correct. Only closeted men will disagree with you. Only the gay sexuals will disagree with you. And now she's posting about Myron Gaines, about how he's apparently gay. Tree of logic. A lady, sooner you realize that Myron Gaines, aka Omaru Foodle, is gay, the harder you will laugh at him. Not the. I mean, like, I laugh at him because he's crazy, but I'm not sure about the gay thing, but whatever. He wants women eliminated so he doesn't have to compete with us for men. I gotta be careful with some of these. What is not them putting together the homo reel? Look at these boys laying in a bed together. I'm not sure if she has like a picture here where he pulls his cock out or something. Oh, good lord, this music. So I gotta be careful here. Oh, apparently these are. What I will say, what is he doing? But maybe he's just hanging out with his boys, right? I can't. He's possible, he's just, bro. Maybe he's just hanging out with his boys. Don't you hang out with your boys and grip his titty up a little bit? I'm gonna say, and this happens every time. This happened with George Santos. This happened with Madison Cawthorn, happened a little bit with Lindsey Graham. Like, these guys look a whole lot happier doing this stuff that we get a little glimpse of than yelling and being angry and crying on their show about this, that, and the third that they're angry with. They all look happier, like cross-dressing and being a little silly with the girlies. And some of their boy girlies, than like the crap that we see them normally do. I'm just gonna be honest, that maybe if you just decided to be yourself and not an insane right-wing conspiracy theorist, anti-Semitic freakazoid, then maybe you would be a little happier, maybe a little poorer, but maybe your soul wouldn't be as heavy. You ever think about that? You will never see Myron Gaines this happy around women. I'm not gonna lie, they're kind of cooking him a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but she actually is cooking him just a little bit, and she's kind of right. I've never seen that man smile when a woman is like in his peripheral. I have never seen that man smile when a woman is present. I'm so sorry, but like it's kind of true. It is true. It is true. Even I don't even think he's brought his girlfriend on or something, and he smiled. Oh yeah, there was this one too. This one was peculiar. Many of the men most obsessed with women being trad wives probably don't even know how to do traditional masculine things themselves, like fixing a car or basic handiwork around the house. It's kind of funny. We talk about that too. Like, these guys, they want the women to take up their like traditional feminine trad wife roles, but these guys aren't doing the traditional man trad husband things, trad man things. You ain't fixing the car. You're not painting the walls. You're not, bro. You ain't lifting the couch and moving it to the other side of the house, bro. You ain't doing none of that. You cuff your jeans and you put on conservative branded beard oil. You ain't that guy, bro. You're not doing all the things that you said that you should. It's just, and these guys don't even listen. It's kind of crazy. These guys don't even have the money to be able to keep up with this the way that the guys don't even have the money to keep up with the lifestyle that they say that they want these women to be a part of. And if they did, and when they do, still, When they do, sometimes they don't put out like that. And then they're like, I can't believe these women are so entitled. Bro, if you want that triad wife thing, like obviously she's gonna be having her hand out asking for money to buy this and that. That's the point. That's literally the point. So they want all the upsides without having to do any of the work. Everybody want a breeding box, but nobody want to do any of the work. What's up, babe? People drive like maniacs over here. They drive like maniacs everywhere. Welcome to American roads. Probably roads just in general, if I'm going to be honest with you. I've seen enough crazy British people to know that they be driving insano style everywhere they can. Doesn't matter. They demand a submissive. Look at all the conservative women in here realizing that these guys they're not like that. I mostly trad with home cooked meals, laundry service, kids after school activities. Saved my daughter's day today when I dropped her off at her b-ball game when she forgot it. But I'll be damned if spoken down to or scolded in my role. I'll state my piece to my man. I think that's amazing. Can you imagine that how they have to have this, how they have to even have this conversation? Like how bad things have gotten in the conservative sphere. Like they even have to have this conversation. They have to have listen. Yeah, I'll do work, but I'm not doing the whole you get to beat me whenever you want thing. Like that was even on the table. What? Those are the type of relationships that's the line that that even has to be said. A guy who hired a handyman has no place objecting to his wife hiring a house cleaner. Or instead of hiring somebody to do the housework, you two just clean the home that you both live in. Like a grown adult. That could go kind of crazy too if you think about it. Like, hey babe, it's time to clean that. Oh my gosh. It's time to split up the work for the house and then do it. Wow. Oh man, who could have seen this coming? There was a cleanup after yourself? Wow. What, clean as you go so you won't have to think about hiring a maid and a cleaning service to be able to get your living space in order? Something that you should be able to do yourself. Listen, if animals in the wild can keep their homes clean, why can't you? I'm just gonna be honest. I've seen a lot of birds cleaning out their nests, and I've seen a whole lot less trad video watching the under 32 boys cleaning their room recently. I'm just gonna be real. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's just a bit curious, is it not? Just a bit curious, isn't it? And this post was kind of wild. Why are you on here? I will often get some iteration of that question for my posts. Many, not all of my posts, are about destructive relationship dynamics. This isn't out of bitterness or revenge. So this is just kind of, for me, this tweet, I pulled up this tweet specifically because this kind of proved to me that she's tweeting all of this at the end of the day is indeed a subtweet of Steven Crowder. All of this is a subtweet towards Steven Crowder. All of these posts, at least she's at least thinking about the, oh man, what that man did to me with all of this type of stuff. All of it. Like absolutely all of it. So this is proof. Like many if not all of these posts are about destructive relationship dynamics. It's not out of bitterness or vengefulness. Because this has to mean that she's talking about Crowder here. If it has to be bitter or vengeful, like she's getting back at something. And then I want to go with this one. Because this one's kind of really interesting to me. This one's really interesting to me. I'm so sorry, she begins. After becoming a single mother, words I never thought I could that would possibly describe me, I have much remorse. I have much remorse for the judgment I held for the women that find themselves in this position. I guess she means I have so much more remorse, or now I have remorse for the judgment I held against women who find themselves in this position. Every story is different. Many are simply doing the best they can, loving their children and creating a happy home under circumstances that are not ideal. It's kind of crazy how a grown adult needs to have this done. Do you guys remember a story that we went over a little while ago? It was a Canadian story about this father who kept saying horrible things about his child, releasing the personal private medical information about his kid, going on to shows and shows on like TV and also on YouTube and podcasts to disparage his child, the mother of his child, and the court system and everything, and how he just completely went mad with power when he realized that his kid was going in a direction that he didn't approve of. And what I'm talking about, it was the man whose child was trans. They were transitioning. If I remember correctly, from man to woman. From woman to man. They were a trans man, right? Their kid was a trans boy, and he completely lost his mind. He went on screeds and tirades online. He would wear the face and the medical information of his child and like in the mother of his child on a t-shirt. He would like misgender, and he would say all these terrible things that they're like brainwashed and he needs to change them. And obviously this led to a divorce and also a court proceeding as well about all of this. And what happened at the end is that he lost, obviously, because he was treating his kid absolutely terribly, putting words in their mouth that they never said, making assumptions and not actually accepting and being a part of the kid's life. Instead, always demeaning, belittling, verbally abusing, and scaring the child instead of actually trying to be a good father. And when the judge saw that, what the judge did was they ruled, not only do you have to stop doing this, because the judge ruled in it as the court proceeding was going on, and as he was realizing that he might be losing, he then released the medical information of his own kid, the personal information about like even some of it contained like aspects about their like, private parts and stuff. Horrible, nasty, disgusting things that this guy was doing, all because he was vindictive of the court for not believing him when it comes to him wanting to put his child through like conversion therapy, right? And trying to get one over on the court, his child, get one over on the court, his ex-wife and even his own child, for internet clout on like Crowder's show or like a Ben Shapiro or like any of these other like conservative freakazoid accounts, right? And not only did the judge rule against him that he has to, I think he had to go to prison for one, that he viewed himself as a victim for all of that because of him releasing all this private information. He also released the name and address of his child's doctor to act as a vengeful attack against the doctor for doing nothing but just providing the court the information that they accumulated over caring for the child. He posted that doctor's name, face, and information online to hopefully have like some harassment attack, somebody kill him, who knows, happen against him. Yeah, they even doxed his own kid's doctor. Not only did he have a judgment ruled against him for those actions and have monetary and penal repercussions, as in jail, but also what the court ruled was that he needed to. He also, on top of the penalty that he has to serve, was also having more empathy. Yeah, the judge actually wrote that he needs to go to classes to be able to empathize more with what his child is going through, to be able to think more about what he was doing and how that affects his kid, and less of just being so consumed by how this affects him personally. And so what it was court mandated empathy. And I think, and we talked about that for a little while, and how I think not only is that a good thing that the court mandated that, like weirdo rehabilitation, thankfully, chud rehabilitation, but also how we need to bring that here a lot more. There needs to be court mandated empathy, like a civil court for when you act like this, when you act like Hillary Crowder here, that you need to be taken to court and have court-mandated empathy be dropped on your shoulders. There's no reason for why a grown woman with multiple children, who's been married, who's had a job, who's lived at least like 40, 45, possibly 50% of her life already, is just now on God's green earth, developing empathy for once for women. This first time, on September 26, 2024, 7:22 p.m., this woman developed empathy. This grown woman, this mother, this absolutely grown woman, this grown adult developed empathy for the first time. And this isn't the first time I've seen something like this. I mean, we've seen instances where conservative politicians have been super anti-gay, anti-trans, like sometimes anti-black, until they have somebody in their life personally who makes their position affect them or someone who they love negatively. That makes them want to change their mind after that, because they, for some reason, the only thing that'll change these people's minds is them personally suffering. The only thing that gave this woman the kick that she needed to be able to have empathy for people who've suffered through relationships falling apart, and not them being slut, dumbass, low IQ floozies who need their voting rights taken away and who need to close their legs. Think for a second, hey, maybe sometimes relationships don't work out, and it's not their fault. Maybe that is. For the first time, 7:22 p.m., September 26, 2024, this grown woman developed empathy, finally developed a human emotion. She in my opinion, she finally became anything that we should even resemble as an adult. For the first time in her entire life, she started to show that she has actually become an adult. And I think that's just really unfortunate. It shouldn't have taken you being abused by your husband to get you to think that, hey, maybe women didn't ask for it when they became divorced. Hey, maybe women didn't ask for it when they became single mothers. Maybe it's just not completely their fault. Maybe they had some situations similar to me. Maybe I can understand how people aren't just worse than me simply because they end up in bad situations. Maybe one day she'll learn the same thing about homeless people, or people with mental illnesses, or people with drug addictions as well. Maybe she'll learn the same thing about immigrants, or who knows? Who knows what type of person? Who knows what type of situation she could find herself in next to develop the new form of empathy. But yeah, I think this is unfortunate. It's very telling, because there's a lot of people and there's a lot of conservatives that think just like this. A lot of their ideology wraps around with "fuck you, I got mine." It's either "F you, I got mine," or "F you, I'm getting mine soon." That's in that category. That's where the temporarily embarrassed millionaire stands. The "F you, I will get mine." The type of person who's living paycheck to paycheck and in a dead end job. Who's watching conservative videos and thinking to themselves that one day they're going to be rich just like that. That's why we can't have these laws come about that do things like have marginal income tax rates on people like Elon Musk, because he's super cool and defending democracy. I'm gonna be rubbing shoulders with him maybe someday. I'm gonna be rich just like him one day, as they realize slowly as life is ticking away, they're going to live the rest of their life on Medicaid, probably, if nothing better happens. Wondering if they should go to work, or if they should go to work even though they feel sick and realize that they can't go to the doctor because they don't have the money to yet, and wondering if they should split their money between paying rent and having their first general practitioner doctor's appointment checkup since in like 30 years. Maybe only then will they realize that there's a problem. Some people only realize empathy on their deathbed, that they're wrong. We saw that a lot during COVID. There are a lot of stories from nurses who were treating patients who were literally dying, who were dying in their hands, in the like hospice, ICU, intubated, oxygen levels rapidly dropping because they were licking doorknobs for fun because they thought that the government was lying to them about the China virus to take away their freedom. And then they finally realize, as their air is, as it's hard to breathe and their life is flickering, that they realize that they were wrong, and the only thing that was taken from them has been their own life through their own stupidity and possibly gullibility as well. Unfortunately, that's what we're looking at right now. We've seen it before, and so I know I'm not saying that she deserves to have been, her and her children deserve to have been abused, and now she's divorced. But listen, if this is what it takes to get somebody to finally grow a new piece of humanity to make them whole, then I'll absolutely take that over them learning nothing. Thank you, Hillary Crowder. At least you can, in all the things you've been through, you can act as a learning experience for us all. It sucked, but you finally grew. At least the suffering she went through led to a modicum of character development. She's not there all the way just yet, but she's better than what she used to be.